At its historic peak, the British Empire held dominion over so much of the Earth's surface that people famously claimed the sun never set on its borders. It was a scale of global control that reached nearly every continent. Thousands of years earlier, ancient Egypt established its own long-standing supremacy. For 5 millennia, its pharaohs shifted their centers of power across legendary cities, dictating the course of human progress and culture. Yet today, the British global empire has vanished, and the pharaohs exist only in history books and ruins. How does a small island nation in the North Atlantic, or a single civilization along the Nile, accumulate that much influence in the first place? The answer lies in a repeating pattern. Whether a reign lasts for 500 years or 5,000, every civilization that rises to global prominence follows a similar path of expansion, peak, and eventual transformation. Before any nation can begin to expand its borders across the globe, it must first secure its own territory. Domestic consolidation is the necessary foundation for any external expansion. Around 3100 BCE, King Narmer accomplished this by force. He unified the disparate regions of the Nile Valley and established Memphis as the civilization's very first centralized capital. Located near modern-day Cairo, Memphis became the center of political and religious control. The massive step pyramids built nearby served as permanent monuments to this new, unified authority. Centuries later, England followed a similar path. During the 1500s, the English crown systematically brought neighboring Wales under its total control, creating a more cohesive kingdom. This process reached its conclusion in 1707, when England and Scotland formally merged their governments to create the Kingdom of Great Britain. By dissolving internal borders and merging 2 separate kingdoms into one, Britain effectively combined its resources and manpower. This unification provided the strength required to begin its global expansion. But unification alone isn't enough to cross oceans. A nation needs a specific catalyst, a cultural or technological force to project its influence outward. During its golden age, Egypt found this force in Thebes. Now known as Luxor, this city was dedicated to the god Amun, using vast religious complexes like Karnak to bind the empire together through a shared spiritual identity. By 331 BCE, the empire shifted its focus to the coast. Alexander the Great founded Alexandria, which connected Egypt to the wider Mediterranean and established it as a hub for international trade and scientific knowledge. For Britain, the catalyst was the Industrial Revolution. In a few decades, automated factories replaced manual labor, and rail networks completely overhauled how goods moved. This industrial capacity rapidly made Britain the most technologically advanced nation on Earth, providing the wealth necessary to fund a global presence. Britain used this industrial advantage to expand across continents. Large, resource-rich territories like India, Canada, and Australia were brought under its rule, creating the largest empire in history. Whether through the cultural reach of a city like Alexandria or the factories of England, these unique monopolies are what allow a nation to extend its reach across the globe. However, infinite expansion creates a logistical limit. Eventually, the cost of managing vast territories and endless borders exceeds the resources available to the core. In the 20th century, 2 world wars devastated the British home front. The conflict drained the nation's treasury and strained its economy to the breaking point. With the economy in ruins, maintaining a sprawling global presence was no longer sustainable, triggering a rapid era of decolonization. This retraction was punctuated in 1947, when India, the empire's most significant territory, officially gained its independence. Egypt experienced a different kind of decline. Instead of a slow withdrawal, its ancient social order was upended by military and religious conquest from outside. The Islamic conquest of 641 CE marked the end of the ancient era. It necessitated the creation of Fustat, an entirely new center of power, built around mosques and Islamic trade networks. Whether slowly drained by the costs of decolonization or swiftly replaced by conquest, the sheer weight of an empire eventually fractures its own foundation. Once global supremacy fades, we are left to see what remains of the original state. Today, Britain has returned to its original island borders, consisting of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. It now functions as a modern constitutional monarchy, focusing on internal governance rather than global rule. Egypt, meanwhile, has seen its 5,000-year history of shifting capitals culminate in the massive modern center of Cairo. Cairo serves as a physical timeline where the weathered monuments of the pharaohs stand directly adjacent to the sprawl of modern life. The dominance of a single state is always a temporary state of affairs, but the borders, innovations, and cultures forged during these eras continue to shape the world we inhabit today.